Alright, so yeah, that was pretty much this is part 2 of my little spiel, and I just think it's, it's good. A couple things to remember is, obviously it'll be significantly harder for most people, is you might have to bring in your feet in a little bit during the front squat, and it might be a little bit awkward because your knees might track a little bit more far forward than normal, but I'm not too sure on the full mechanics of it. I'm into this shit, but I'm by no means an expert on any of this. Well, expert is a difficult term, so I guess I haven't attained mastery yet. That's what I mean, and it takes a lot to attain mastery, and I'll definitely take a few more years before I can say that I've mastered anything. And a couple of key things is don't start too heavy, because if you do, you will have a harder time learning the movement. And I forget where I read this, but anything you learn, anything you do, it takes about 300 to 500 repetitions of any given movement to learn it and integrate it into your central nervous system. But on the other hand, if you do learn the incorrect movement pattern, it takes some fucking enormous number. I'm pretty sure it's something like 1,500 or 3,000 to correct a faulty recruitment pattern, depending on how screwed up it really is. I mean, if it's a minute thing, I don't know, I guess it'd probably take like 1,000. I don't know, you can probably easily adjust it. But like, if you have something massive and you just keep on, and the more you train it the more you train a faulty recruitment pattern, the harder it will be to correct it later on. So that's why I am an advocate of all these if you're a beginner, that's why I'm an advocate of very low volume, and not even very low volume, just like 5x5 strong lifts. Those are all like very good beginner tempos, because they let you do sets of 5, and you start with an empty bar. So what people fail to understand is, before you can actually push the muscle, you have to learn the pattern. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's all good having a car with a lot of horsepower, but that horsepower means nothing if your suspension fucking sucks. Like, you know what I mean? You have to have the proper pattern in place to recruit the muscle, so you can actually exercise it properly. Like, that's why you'll see a lot of people who leg press a lot, who leg curl a lot, and then when they go to squat, they fucking suck, because they haven't recruited the proper movement pattern. Like, they haven't had the proper recruitment pattern, because a squat is also that's just one portion of it. Like, another thing is, if you build your way up and you can leg press 1,000 pounds, there's no way you can get into even under a 315 squat and expect to do well, because the squat does increase your bone density quite a bit because of the compression on your spine. And obviously, without first building up slowly, if you don't build up slowly, the Wolff's Law is useless. Wolff's Law says that if you put stress onto your bones, it'll create micro tears and all this other shit, and they'll come back stronger. And that's true, but it doesn't work if you don't load up properly. Like, say a novice who loads up a bar and does 10 pounds every week, eventually he or she will get to 315 on a back squat, and then their spinal integrity will be all in place, and they'll have the proper bone density to be able to do it. Whereas somebody who builds their way up to 1,000 pound leg press and never touches a squat, then attempts to squat 315, they will probably collapse under it, because they don't have the proper structural integrity to do so. And I don't know, I just wanted to put out the, and then that side, it does also, there's a recruitment pattern. Your body has to know which muscles to fire at what time, in the right order, and in the right sequence and all that shit. So, it does play a big part in. I think a lot of times we if you think about samurais and stuff, think about it. Sometimes they would spend a whole day just repeating a single sword, just a single sword swing. That should tell you how important it is to learn the proper, if you can make a movement more efficient, you'll be able to lift more weight, thus stimulating your muscles that much easier, or that much better, and you will get bigger, and etc., etc., etc. Anyways, time for a set. Fuck. And yeah, another thing I noticed is, this is completely off topic, but have you ever noticed I don't know where you guys are, but I don't know the exact reason why they do this, but there's this highway where I live. So it's called 91, and right when you get off the bridge, after a while, there's a famous curve called the S curve there, and I have had a couple times to think about why they do that, and one of the reasons is probably obviously they couldn't get the land or something, or the slope of the land was better suited to an S curve, but another theory might be is maybe it's just keep drivers on their toes, and to prevent speeding, because I can imagine if that was a straightaway, if that was just a straight path and there was no curve on it, people would just fucking rip it, and I don't know, I think that might be part of the reason why they have the curves there, and just to keep people awake and on their toes. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else will agree with me or not, but it's just my little take on it. I'm not sure about why they do it. That's just a side note. Anyways, my video is done now, so